Yeah, so I've got like 5 or 6 questions. We'll see where it goes. If we can start, probably like introduce yourself, the company you work for, and then we'll keep it light and easy and see what we get.
All right, my name is Jeremy Kirkham. I work for Clintar Commercial Property Management up in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, where we get an average of 100 inches of snow a year, 254 centimeters our cap. This is our first year with a back blade, Top Gun back blade, and we found it to work very well, improved efficiency on the lot that we were using it on. Very user
Cool.
friendly as well.
That's amazing. So we get a lot of comments. That'll never work here in Canada. It's always from Ontario and Quebec, but we've got blades there. So
Yep.
and you can speak to that specifically. I was hoping to get right into I believe there was an early storm when you got the blade, and then you had two loaders unavailable or down or an operator issue. Can you walk me through that?
Yeah, so one of the first storms of the year when we had it installed on the F350 we're using it on, a couple operators didn't show up, so we utilized it on lots that we weren't originally planning to use it on. And even though they're huge parking lots, I think we got like 25 centimeters, so like 10 inches. It worked no problem. It was quick, like, and no one really had any practice on it because we literally installed it and used it that night.
That's crazy. What were trucks, other truck plows doing those sites, or what other equipment was assigned to
No,
that?
it would have been loaders. Like we don't use many truck plows, many front mount truck plows, to be honest,
Yeah,
because we don't find them very efficient.
yeah,
You get an 8 foot pass. With this, we get 16 foot. You can do the 20 foot. Um, it's wider than the blades we have on our plows on our loaders,
crazy,
right? So,
man.
and,
So,
and
I've said it before. It seems like an inflammatory statement that and not straight across the board on every category, but I've said plenty. In many circumstances, it will compete with a loader. It will do similar volume. Now, it doesn't have the same stacking ability. The machine doesn't have the same horsepower vantage point. But as far as like clearing an acre, like what is your, as a user, first year into it, and you run mostly large equipment, like how would you say that statement would stand up or not?
so the feedback from the supervisor on the site where it's being used was he cut his time by 33% or more. And we used to run that with a loader with a push box on it. So like, a 621
Yeah,
um, with a push.
that's madness.
Yeah. And that's, operator never used it before. No one in our business had ever seen it except for what we saw online and
Yes.
rolled in on the truck, right?
Yeah.
And dropped it off and the guys went to work. We dismantled the F350 and installed it. And I'll also note that the truck we had it on is a truck that we rent. So we dismantled it, put the blade on, used it, then took it off at the end of the year, put the truck back together and sent it just as if nothing was ever on the truck.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very clever. And like the ROI on that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah, we rent a lot of trucks. Like we don't buy big trucks. We have
Yeah.
550s that we use as salters,
Yeah.
but anything like a 250, 350, we tend to rent quite a few of those. And
Cool.
we'll
That's a
install
great strategy.
plows on them, and in this case, we installed the back blade. And like I said, we don't utilize a lot of front mount plows on trucks just because of the volume of snow that we get. Like we'll use them when we have to for
Of
cutting curbs
course.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's not like we've got a fleet of 40 pickup trucks with V plows on them or something.
Yeah.
Back
No,
in
and
the day,
I've
we had
noticed
lots, but not anymore.
every pocket in North America has different snow, different frequency, different access to things. Like you're not driving huge tractors down where we plow in Vancouver. You're not putting big tractors through the middle of the city. Like everybody's running truck blades. Occasionally you'll see occasionally a loader, but it's rare to see it in BC. In some places, you'd be an idiot to plow without a loader. So it's interesting how each pocket is done so differently.
Yeah,
But
and the one thing too that I never even thought of before we bought one of these. And I never really thought of it until we got pulled over with a loader with a 10-foot push box on it, is unless we pay $2,500 for a wide load permit, we can't legally drive that loader down the road, but the back blade folds up. So
Yes.
you go,
Well, and it's got little curb guards in the end, so our 20-footer is like 244 inches,
yep,
but it's road legal.
yeah. People
Like
don't
it's
think about that, because in Ottawa, that's about what it is, $2,500. And if you take your chance and you get nailed for a ticket, I can tell you firsthand, it's 650 bucks.
yeah, it's not fun.
No.
So like transport between sites is easier, more efficient.
Yeah.
The first time user with a back blade, and it's not like an owner like owner operators are different than employees. They
Yeah.
think
This is
about
an
things different.
employee, like an hourly paid employee who was driving this.
That's
It
crazy.
wasn't one of the owners. It wasn't one of the supervisors. It was a field staff owner, like field staff was owning that plow in the wintertime.
And
He,
it covered, you were down a loader. It covered that day one, 33% increase approximately. Like it your feedback, a lot of my pushback online has been like, no, nothing works that well. That's impossible. That can't be real. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Everyone that happens to buy one happens to have a story almost exactly like yours.
yeah,
It's pretty hard to call BS when everybody we sold a blade to has almost the same story.
yeah. Like until we got it, like I'd seen the videos, I'd talked to you at some of the conventions, talked to some of the other guys. And people say this and that. People have their favorite things.
Of course,
So we were optimistic that it was going to deliver on what we'd seen online.
sure,
But like these people say, it doesn't work in Canada. Well,
yeah,
we're in
it's big
Canada, we're
risk
in a
in
snow
that
belt,
perspective.
and it works. Like there's not, yeah, Quebec gets a lot of snow down east, maybe more than Ottawa, but in Ontario, unless you get real far north, there's not many places get the amount of snow that Ottawa gets. Like we're
Yeah,
probably top 5 or 6 in the entire province for snow. And it's
yep,
not like one year we get 254. There's a reason why the city made a cap for every company. Everything over 254 centimeters is extra money for the customers. That's
ah,
government contracts, private contracts, everywhere.
didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Because a lot of people lost their shirt one winter because we got too much snow and there was no cap. They just quit
Oh yeah.
showing.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game when you're paying to plow somebody's lot.
Yep.
Man, that's scary. Wow.
And
Okay, so it does work in Canada. It
yep.
does work in Ontario and Quebec. You are
Yeah,
speaking firsthand experience.
yeah,
It
we're
did.
right on the Ontario-Quebec border, right? Like
Yep.
literally where we're using it. I won't name the site, but let's just say the Prime Minister goes there a lot.
Right.
So it's
I
right
can
on the
imagine.
river, right between Ontario and Quebec. It's right there. So we get that snow coming over the out of the valley, and we get the snow coming up the Quebec River. So that's
Man,
like the hotbed. They get a lot of snow there.
that's a perfect hub.
Yep.
Wow. I'm like just shocked at how I didn't hear the whole story you just shared with me now. You briefly mentioned a couple things, but that's a 10 out of 10. That like
Yeah.
proves it works on the West Coast, thick, chunky, sloppy snow. It works in the Midwest with the real powdery stuff.
Yep.
A lot of guys tried them this year and were shocked. And that's where that developed is in the Midwest and Michigan. And then to hear like Ontario, Quebec giving similar responses is like, no, this thing is legit. I'm bought in because I have the snowplow company and
Yep.
I've seen the benefit. But I was hoping it would translate the same way to other guys. But you don't know because I'm not telling your guys how to operate or what to avoid or how fast. Like you are controlling all of that. So like that's so exciting to me that it actually translates. It's actually making a difference in other businesses.
Yeah, and we also tried it on like some cobblestone, like
Yep.
granite cobblestone, and because it's got the poly edge, the one we have, they had no problem with us using it there because it's poly edge, and the poly edge held up. So we have a skid steer down there with a poly edge on it. We had to change that 3 times this winter. We didn't change the poly edge on the back blade.
Man, that's such good news. I'm so happy. I'm so biased, obviously. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yep.
That's really good feedback. It seemed like if I could switch gears real quick, the install seemed pretty you guys had no previous experience.
Yeah.
Getting it set up it wasn't nothing, but it wasn't a major
Yeah, it
production.
wasn't like 4 or 5 hours, that's for sure. It would have been a lot quicker. And I'll tell people this, drop the spare tire before you start. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
So we were like halfway in, decided to drop the spare tire. But
Yeah.
that being said too, we have to be a lot more careful because it's a rental truck. We got
Yeah.
to take it apart piece by piece, make sure we don't lose anything, and then
Yeah.
install the Top Gun and then document it all so that when we were going to return that truck, we could do the reverse and put it all back together, right? If it's
Yeah.
your own truck, I don't see why you just don't leave the hitch on year round. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Most guys do. That's pretty normal. But you guys have a really unique way of operating. I love that. So how is hookup and taking it off of the truck? How is that? Because my how I try to articulate it is it's guys that run a trailer behind their truck frequently. This is same but different. Like if you drive trailers, you should have no problem hooking up or running this thing.
Yeah, well, it was pretty easy because you don't have to take the tailgate off, so you still have your backup camera. So anyone can back up with a backup camera. It's not like back in the day when we were all like trying to back up using just mirrors, right? Now you just look at a 20-inch screen and away you go. And
Yeah.
as long as you got it set up properly, you can back right into it. One guy can do it. Like it's just as easy as hooking up a blade onto a loader, to be honest.
Yeah.
Loader you're hooking on the front, this you're hooking on the back.
Cool. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, my last question, then we can wrap up here. Who do you think, now that you've experienced it, who do you think would benefit from a blade like this? I don't think this is for all people, for all plows. We're not trying to replace everything, but there are very specific segments. Like what guys, what companies would you see this fitting for?
So we don't do residential, but I think it would work brilliantly on residential. You're just pulling in, opening up, doing a laneway, leaving.
Well, it's the same way as like shipping bays, like pulling out
That,
loading
yeah,
docks. It would be the
exactly
same.
right. Like if you're doing any like industrial, like we do a lot of big spots and a lot of like college campuses that have a lot of loading docks. And that's initially why I brought it up to the owners was because I wanted it on my site so I could do all my loading docks with it. Because you can just back in, drop the blade tight, and pull out. Where with a loader, you're going in and you're having to back out. This way, you're just backing in. You got your backup camera, drop the blade at the door, drive out, leave it, or take it to the pile. That
Yeah.
it it basically turns your truck into a loader essentially. The only thing
Yeah.
it doesn't do is it doesn't load trucks and it doesn't stack super high. But you can
Totally.
you can stack
Totally.
up high enough if you come in the back and lift it up a bit, right? Like the
Yep.
guys figured that out.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah, you can push into piles, but you're not doing big stacking. I
yeah.
would going back to the loading dock point there, like to me, pulling out forward facing versus reverse. I mean, we all do what we have to do. That's you're gonna do
Yep.
what you have to do. But if I had a choice to drive out and I can see everything or backing out and checking
Mhm.
everything, there's a lot of traffic behind you.
Yep.
I feel like that's a safer move to be able to pull
100%.
bays out that way.
Yeah, so just a prime example. So this winter we had a small tractor in an alleyway that was backing out Christmas Eve and it got hit by a bus. If you're driving out, you're going to see that bus
No.
because he's backing out, trying to look. He didn't see it. The bus was hugging the sidewalk, caught the salter on the back of the tractor. Could have
Yeah.
been avoided if you're driving out. It's much
Right.
easier and much safer, in my opinion, to back in and drive back out into traffic,
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a truck, you can pull right up to that loading bay and you're only backing in. You're not really crossing any traffic, then you just pull out straight. It's
Totally.
kind of a no-brainer. And even anyone who doesn't think it will work, the proof's in the pudding. So many people are saying it works. And
Everyone that bought one or has tried one says it works and it's like shockingly
yeah,
productive. But the people who haven't tried it are like, God, it's impossible. It can't work.
yeah, like, you got these things across Canada pretty much now, in so many states. Like, isn't there some in Alaska? I think I saw videos in
Oh, yeah.
Alaska.
Bunch
Yeah.
in Alaska.
And I talked to a guy online in Alaska, and they get more snow than me. So if it works there, works here, works in
Yeah.
BC where the snow's probably wetter,
Yep.
like, and you're not sinking. Most people already got the truck, so they're not sinking $350,000 into a cat loader. They're buying a blade that goes on something that they already own.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like how much more productive is that rather than having to get another guy, another piece of equipment,
Yep.
and it's compounding. If you just take a good guy and you can give him a better tool, I just feel like that makes so much sense.
Yep. Yeah, and I will say, so we own different equipment. Like we've got some V plows, we got some VSI stuff. Like we many different companies we deal with.
Yeah.
Your customer service has been incredible, to be
Oh,
honest,
cool.
especially since we're in different countries, but we still always hooked up and made things work. Like your mechanic was willing to talk to our mechanic. You're willing to talk to me. Nikki was willing to email us. Like it all jives, and that's what's important. Anyone can sell you something, but it's how they take care of you after that.
Big time. I think so too, because life will happen. Tractors backing up, get hit. Like it's
Yeah.
not that things won't happen. It's how do you deal with it after? And we've had a lot of that question. It's like, well, what do you do? I'm not near your shop. It's like, don't worry. We overnight parts. We'll
Yep.
talk you through everything. Calls 24/7. We'll make sure you're set up no matter what happens, but we'll step in to help out.
Yep. And
Man,
that's what it's all about
yes. Well, it's
after the
always about the
sale.
people, right?
Yeah,
In your company, in your community, in my company, it's always about the people doing the hard, important things and making sure it works and taking accountability when something gets missed or lost or broken or changed.
exactly.
Those are the people you can trust.
Yep. Yeah, the guy who sells you something and then doesn't answer his phone if something goes wrong, you're never going to go back to that guy. But the ones who make things right, which anytime we had anything to talk to you about, you picked up your phone, even though there's like a 3 hour time difference. Like I think Mike called you one time and it was like 5 a.m. your time. I'm like, why are you calling him, man? He's in Vancouver. It's 5 a.m. But
Yeah.
you still you texted back, sorry, can I call you in a couple hours? It's 5 a.m. Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. And he followed through, which is
Well,
very
and if it was
important.
urgent, of course I'll be up. No
Yeah,
problem. We're in the trench together. This is not a me selling you iron and then trying to get rich and saying good luck. Like I'm a product user. I believe in this. I'm trying to make the space better and expose this idea because I've seen so much benefit. And now I want to share it with other guys. And it's so encouraging and exciting to hear that it really is being received and used like the way I had dreamed that it could actually work.
yeah, no, like we were ready for one. We saw the videos, but like with anything, we were skeptical too,
Of
right?
course.
Like, hey, we're gonna sink this money into it. We're gonna
Yep.
try.
Yep.
It's like anything until you're actually trying it, you're like, does that really work? And then you're like, oh, it does really work. Because even some of the guys who were like, this is going on your site, oh, well, those don't work. How do you know? You've never used it.
Yeah.
There-
Everything changes when you have skin in the game.
yeah, there was a time when these didn't work. Nobody wanted a computer in their hand. Now we all got them, right?
Totally. So for the guys sitting on the fence, they're like, it seems like I could really benefit my small business or my big business for supervisors or to help out with loaders. And they're like, I'm just nobody around here has it. I haven't seen it. Like, what from you being a respectfully like a rookie, first year in with these blades, like what would you share with those guys that you think would move the needle?
I would share with them that it's just like anything else that they didn't have before and nobody had used or they hadn't seen. Go online, see it, look people up. I'm on LinkedIn. Most of the users are probably on LinkedIn. Shoot them a
Yeah.
message. They'll steer you straight, and then just bite the bullet. Start with one. You'll
Yeah.
see. Then buy another one if you want another one, another one, another one. Like it's from the price point, it's a no-brainer for the efficiency you get. The ROI is through the roof, in my
Cool.
opinion, anyway.
Yeah. Hey, mine too. It was good enough that our company grew and then I bought Top Gun. So I'm speaking from experience too. And our community of guys who have bought the blades, they all seem very willing to share with other guys their experience,
Yep.
answer calls, however they can help out. It seems like all the Top Gun guys, users, we're all in this like, hey, how can I help each other? Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and not only that, like this community is in a bit of a revolution right now, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yes.
Nobody used to talk. Along came, say this the Snow Jobs podcast, which Top Gun sponsors.
Yeah.
So you're giving back to this community because they're giving back and they're connecting. Like, did I ever think I was going to be on podcasts or talking to people? Never. Even my kids are like, I can't believe you're on podcasts or TV
Your
shows.
podcast rock star now, bro.
Like, this community needs to talk and believe in each other and take away the cloak of secrecy, right? Like, if someone
Yeah.
wants to talk about the blade, they can call me, they can email me, whatever. Same for you. You answer your phone anytime. I saw you in Pittsburgh. We'd only talked a couple times. You sat down for like 15 minutes, talked to me. It wasn't a sales pitch. You were just telling me your experience. And that's what this industry is about, is each of us passing experiences along so we can all provide a much better service to the end user, which is our community. Yeah, we're in the business to make money.
Yep.
Everyone wants to make money, but the real thing is keeping our community safe, right? And
Yes. You should be able to do both. You should be
yeah,
able to make money for the individual, make money for the company, and improve the community. Like those three things should be able to happen.
yeah. And if you can do it more effectively with a back blade, then you should be doing that, you know?
Yeah,
You know,
I think so.
there was a time when people only ran straight blade Myers plows, back in the day. And
Yeah,
then something came along, and then something else, something else, something else.
yeah. And I have
It's
a feeling right
evolution,
now it's there's early adopters involved. I have a feeling I'm on a bit of an island where
Yep.
either it's widely adopted, which is what I'm betting on, or it's like, no, this is obscure, crappy product. But no feedback has been this is an obscure, crappy
Yeah.
product. So it feels exciting that we haven't realized the growth and potential, but early adopters are seeing it and like they're telling the truth, like this is better than I expected, which is really cool for me to hear and to see as a business and as a person who just believes in a thing that they're behind in both cases for me. It's really cool to be on the front end of this.
Yeah. Yeah. You're giving back to your industry, you know?
I'm trying, doing my
Yeah.
best here, Jeremy.
Yeah. The people who are breaking the trails never have it the easiest, but you're trail breaking, like you've brought a product to this industry that people doubt to this day because they haven't tried it. But, you know, as more and more people try it, it's like bad culture in a company. If they're all bad, you get a few good ones, they start talking. Eventually, you want to be with the good ones because
Totally.
they're outnumbered the bad ones.
Well, if
So,
you saw that in town and somebody's cleaning a lot next to you in half the time, how do you not have FOMO?
right?
Like you just can't disagree with the result. So it's just a matter of time
Yeah.
until the volume catches up, and then everybody's like, "Oh, what? Why weren't we using this sooner?" It feels silly plowing without a backblade. Like it's just frustrating doing 8 feet at a time. That feels like madness. So we're getting the guys who got them all get it, and now they're
Yeah.
other local contractors. I think will start getting it too. So
Yeah.
we're into that.
You kind of hit the nail on the head. So a lot of the other contractors in the area, because there's, six or seven bigger companies who do a lot of the bigger sites, the government sites, whatnot, because you need the
Yep.
clean up. They start sending texts. How does it work? We didn't think it would work. Does it work? I'm like, well, obviously you must have seen it working. That's why you're texting me. Like, you're not texting me because you didn't see it working.
No, didn't look like a gimmick when it's cleaning up those lots, did it?
Yeah, exactly. So no, the
Yeah.
the more people that get them and the more people are willing to talk about them,
Yeah.
it's just gonna take off. So
Cool. Yeah, I'm very excited that it really is something I thought that this would be to help the community, to
yeah,
help guys get ahead, finish sites faster, which keeps everyone safer and more profitable. And so I'm so excited to have you on the journey. Thanks for trusting us and taking the risk trying it, and for making time for us to be today on this Zoom call.
yeah, for sure. Anytime, Rob.
Thanks, man.